Hello everyone and welcome to round 2 of the WRA Championship. Today we're going to be in Vietnam and it's going to be a wet race today. As we get going for the start of qualifying. So we got a few cars coming out now. And yeah, so it's going to be a wet qualifying today. I'm not sure about the race. I think it's going to be a wet race as well. I guess we will have to wait and see. A few cars coming out now. The Norwegian boy going to be the first one to start his lap as long as he doesn't crash on the out lap. John Ag also coming out as well. Yeah, so welcome everyone. I got a few cars coming on track now. Ooh, the Norwegian boy did just clip the barrier there. It didn't seem like he had any wing damage, but it did just seem like he clipped the barrier there, and hopefully for his sake he didn't get any wing damage from it, and we'll be able to continue qualifying without having to pit and waste time, as it's a decently long lap round Vietnam, and it's definitely going to be made longer with the wet conditions. I think it's about 1 minute 40 lap time in the wet. I think that's about right. I'm not sure the exact lap time, but locking up a bit there. But yeah, so the AlphaTauri will be the first one to set a lap time as long as everything goes well on this lap, and then John Ag will be the second one. So he's just preparing for his first lap. Yellow flags, a few cars are slowing down in the middle sector, but so yeah, the AlphaTauri will be the first one to get underway with the first flying lap of the session. So now on the run out into turn 1, and no one's coming out the pit lane. It's a bit of a dangerous pit lane here sometimes, as if wrong place, wrong time, you could make a collision. It's quite unlikely, but still, it does happen every now and then, very rarely, but it does happen. Norwegian boy pushing on this lap. It seems very slow, but it's very difficult in these wet conditions. John Ag also on a lap time, just slightly behind, about 5-6 seconds behind, sliding through the first few corners, but no damage or anything like that. Keeping wide, the Norwegian boy just preparing to go onto the extremely long straight. As a few more people are beginning their lap times now. Seems like Lewis is he's got a bit of traffic here, and also his teammate King Enzo is he didn't validate his lap, but he was actually very close to one of the Ferraris. Norwegian boy obviously going to go purple in the first and second sector, as he's the first car to do a first and second sector. But now coming into the third sector, it's very easy, especially in the wet conditions, to clip a barrier here, but he seems to be making it through all clear, coming through the last bit of the very bendy final sector. Now coming into the penultimate corner of the lap. Let's see what the first lap time of the session is going to be like. Obviously I'm sure everyone will improve a lot, as some people, so he'll come across the line, sliding a little bit, and he'll come across the line for a 1:49.3. So that is needs to really set the pace for everyone else, the Norwegian boy. But I guess we'll have to wait and see if anyone can beat that. John Ag will be the next person to cross the line, and he goes slightly behind, a tenth slower. So yeah, just a tenth slower. So pretty close with the first two drivers to cross the line. Who's going to be the next one? Is it July? Yeah, it's going to be July coming across the final corner now. And he comes across the line for a 1:48.7. So that is the fastest so far. As Aaron McFall, Yeah, Aaron about just under a second faster, 9 tenths faster than July, and he's also a few tenths faster than Batboy as well. And so that good guy Morn goes P4 with a 149.1. And now there's an AlphaTauri that crosses the line and goes slowest, Mr. Joe Jr. with a 152.2. As Avesta Racing gets a 151.1. And the next car to cross the line will be... I'm not sure actually. There's a Ferrari. IYG Sender. Into the final corner now. What can he do? Seems to be a decent lap so far, and he goes P4, so decent lap from IYG Sender. And everyone else either on an out lap or in the pit lane, or there are a few people on a lap or just beginning their laps. There's TRT Forster is fastest in the first sector. That will lock up on the front right, but doesn't slow him down that much. Into the very long sort of left-hander. So someone's just pointed out in the comments, Sheep, he was a tier 2 driver. I think he won the first tier 2 race, and now he's driving for Ferrari in tier 1. So I guess we'll keep an eye on him and keep an eye on him on his tier 1 debut and just see how he goes. Obviously, might find it a bit more difficult with faster drivers, but I guess we'll have to wait and see on how his debut in this league goes. It's Manuel Antunes, probably pronounced that wrong. Goes fastest with a 147.2, and Bad Boy beats Aaron's time by 4 tenths and is 2 tenths off Manuel's time. Yeah, those are the first few people to finish their second runs. So I think we have a few people who are doing one run then going back to the pit lane, and then I think we have a few people who are doing quite a lot of high fuel runs. I don't know if that's a new lap from Enzo. No, it doesn't seem like it. Who's yet set lap time? Melvin, I think he must have invalidated his lap because he's gone into the pit lane. Oh, I missed that completely there. TRT Forced. Won the first round. Oh, Manuel goes into the barrier there. I think he might be going into the pit lane anyway, but still must be frustrating to get wing damage. Just means he's going to be slower going into the pit lane. So yeah, TRT Forced. Brilliant lap from him, being out everyone by 3 tenths on his first lap. So won the first round in Australia. Could he win the second round as well? But still, obviously, 10 minutes left in the session. We still have a lot of people who did some really strong races in the first race, such as Melvin and Lewis, still yet to set times. So I guess we'll have to wait and see during the rest of the qualifying session on what sort of pace everyone else can show with the 10 minutes that remain. A little slide from Lewis, that's not going to be a great build-up to his first lap, but he's got on with it. He's obviously going to lose a bit of time down the straight, but not too much time. Lewis pushing now, and he goes all 4 wheels off track. No invalidation. As he has a Vesta just behind him, although Vesta is probably Vesta's on an out lap. PMP Mac also beginning his lap time now. We didn't really see much of him in Australia as he did DNF and scored no points for. He was racing a Mercedes that race. Now he's driving for McLaren. But yeah, Lewis is continuing his lap. He's looked all right. He's going down the long straight, no lift there, which is as to be expected. Into the hairpin, going all the way down to second gear, not first. Short shifted a little bit just to get better traction on the exit. And he goes purple in the middle sector, so could this be a provisional pole lap time from Lewis? He's coming through the very tricky final sector, especially in these wet conditions. He has yellow flags ahead. I wonder if those cars might block him a little bit, or will they just be able to get out of the way? Is he coming up to the penultimate corner? Got that Williams slightly ahead, but the Williams should stay out of his way. And he might get a tiny bit of slipstream. I'm not sure if it won't really help that much anyway. But Lewis goes P5. So on his first lap, Lewis goes P5 with a 148.3. P&P Mac also coming in just behind. How's this lap gone for P&P Mac? We haven't really seen much of it, but let's see where this will put him in the standings so far. Coming up to the final corner now. The left-hander doesn't slide at all. That's a good exit. And he goes P5 just ahead of Lewis, so it's a McLaren sandwich on that Renault there. 7 minutes still to go, so... and Danny and Melvin still get set lap time, so... guess we'll have to wait and see what they can do. Avesta struggling so far, although there's still time for him to do another lap and push himself into the top 10 sort of area. A lot of people on a lap right now. Funfada coming into the pit lane. Lewis on a lap and the Ferrari just getting out of his way. P14 so far for Sheep, although 2 cars yet to go. Two cars yet to set a lap. It's now purple in the middle sector again. I'm not sure if that's correct or not. Sometimes you have glitches with the game where it just says everyone's purple. I'm not sure about the P&P Mac. I think he is supposed to be Mercedes. I don't know why he's driving for McLaren. But, yeah, I don't know the reasoning for that. And Lewis coming into the final corner. The Renault driver got pole in his first race. Can he improve to get provisional pole now? Only P3. But he split the 2 racing points and is only 2 tenths off pole, so there's definitely still time for the Scotsman to find and possibly get pole. As seems Melvin and Danny are on a lap, both of them get to set a lap time, but could be setting their first ones now. Let's watch Melvin through the middle sector as he's coming to the end of his lap, a little through the very twisty and turny final sector, sorry. I said middle sector before. But what can Melvin do to try and break the sort of top 4? Very close, everyone within a tenth of each other in the top 4, so can Melvin try and get and make that a top 5? He comes across into the final corner and goes only P14, so that must be very frustrating for the Red Bull driver. So Red Bull really having a poor day today so far in qualifying. Still, of course, 5 minutes remain, so still time for them to improve, but at the moment it's not looking good for Red Bull. Only P14 and P18. Although will Danny be able to beat Avesta's lap and put in P19? As Danny coming into the final corner now. What can he do on his first lap? P18, so he, yeah. As Manel, wow, good lap from Manel there, 146.8. Goes ahead of TRT Forced, Aaron and Lewis. So Manel on provisional pole for the race at the moment. Still 14 minutes to go, and obviously everyone else in the top 4 to really bite back and set a better lap time. I guess we will have to wait and see as this session progresses. Not much time left, but we can we'll have to wait and see and how they can do. Manel still on another fast lap, and he's purple in the first sector. Touches the wall. That could be wing damage, and that could ruin that lap. Let's see if we can see any. Yeah, front right end plate. So that will probably be the end of Manel's qualifying, unless he continues with this lap and somehow improves. But it will probably be the end of his qualifying, as he will have to come back to the pits and might just get time to set one more lap time, but it'll be very close. Melvin on the build. Oh no, he's going into pit lane. So who in the TRT Forced on a lap is that? Seems like it. Let's ride off board just for a second here. And no wing damage from him, unlike Manel. So could TRT Forced try and get his first pole of the season? in the second race. He won the first one, and it seems like he's on a build-up lap as he's not burning any area. Sorry, I made a mistake there, but yeah, Enzo's gone P6. I'm not sure if he was already there, but it's a decent lap from Enzo to put in P6. That could go Morn. Doing pretty well for in this qualifying session so far. P9 with F1 Fado just behind. Fado now beginning his flying lap. I think T4's beginning will probably be he gets 1 or 2 laps left that he can do in this session, so as long as he doesn't make any mistakes, he could probably get another lap done if he has the fuel for it. As long as he doesn't break his wing or anything like that, he should be able to have the fuel. Aaron and Lewis now both on an out lap, so they'll get one chance at the end of the session to dislodge Manel and get pole position. Both racing points looking extremely strong so far. P1 and P3 looking to be very good race for them if it all holds up. As long as they don't make any mistakes. Obviously we saw it doesn't matter where you qualify. Lewis qualified on pole last race and probably did have a shout of winning it until he made contact with Toss My Salad. So of course it's all well and good getting pole position, but you do have to make sure you're good enough to hold it. There's Manel is on an out. Okay, I'm not sure what Manel is doing here. He's retires from the session, as well as the Norwegian boy. Ooh, I'm not sure if you saw that, but it seems a Norwegian boy crashed out there. I wonder. Oh, Lewis has hit the barrier. That was on a lap as well, so that seems to be the end of Lewis's qualifying. Ooh, very sliding on the rear end. Aaron does catch it, but that will obviously damage him going into turn 1. Lucas Force now approaching the end of his lap into the final corner now. And finishes P1 by 1/10. Lucas Force is on provisional pole, and unless Aaron can beat him as he sends himself into the barrier there, and unless Aaron can beat him, it seems like he'll be the man to take pole position in the second race of the season. And it does not seem like Aaron will do that as he sort of gives up on his lap there. So could anyone else maybe try and take pole? Maybe P&P Mac could. He's on a lap now. Could there be a chance? It's extremely close at the top. So who's going to be the one to take pole in the second race of the season? Enzo on a flying lap. I think he might be the next one. Him and Batboy are the next ones to. Oh, and Enzo retires from the session. Wonder if there was anything to do with. Let's just look here because there's 2 cars there. Aren't they? So John Ike's gone off there. I don't know what happened to Enzo. Batboy and P&P Mac, what can they do to try and improve their times? With obviously a session over now, but still time for them to try and improve, as they are both on flying laps, it appears. It's going to be the one to cross the line first. It will be P&P Mac, so let's just ride on board with P&P Mac till the end of his flying lap through the final sector. Looking very quick through there. What can the Irishman do to try and improve his time? Coming up to the penultimate corner now with that Williams just ahead. And wow! Out of nowhere, Vesta Racing take a bow. Gets provisional pole. He's completely off my radar there. Gets provisional pole by 110, but P&P Mac improves to get P3 but with a 146.8. But wow, it was looking very poor for a Vesta until a few minutes left in that session when he absolutely just set. What a lap time that is from him. Obviously Melvin's still starting pretty low down on the grid, but he was in P19 with a 152 or something like that, and he's improved by that much. That is a complete shock there, as everyone else's qualifying is over. I think it will end just when they take Mr. Joe Jr. into the garage. But I'm pretty shocked by that. But wow, so we'll have a Red Bull driver starting on pole position with a Mercedes starting just behind. So where have we heard this one before? So now we come to the end of the qualifying session. Let's do the grid rundown. Avesta Racing starts on pole with a 146.6. TT Force just under a tenth behind in P2 and P&P Mac in P3. Manel P4, Bad Boy P5, Aaron McFall P6, Lewis P7, King Enzo P8, July P9, IYG Sender P10, 11 that good P11 is that good guy Morn, F1 Fado P12, the Norwegian Boy P13, Melvin P14, John Ag P15, Sheep P16, IZ Leroy P17, Mr. Joe Jr. P18, and Danny will be starting from the back of the grid. So yeah, very decent qualifying. Just look how close that is from P7 to pole. It's just 4 tenths, splitting all of them. That is a brilliant qualifying session. It's brilliant to see, and it will definitely probably mean it will shape up to be a pretty good race then. Obviously we had quite a lot of safety cars last time out, and yeah, and I'm sure that this isn't going to be much different with this rain. Obviously Vietnam a difficult track as it is, but with the rain it's going to be very difficult, and I'm sure we'll see a lot of DNFs, as we even saw in qualifying, a lot of people breaking their front wings. But yeah, so the standings as it is in the drivers is TLT Forced in P1, Marcus P, obviously just everyone, well, pretty much the finishing order from last race. So obviously this will shape it up a bit, but Mercedes do lead the both drivers and constructors championship, but Renault close behind, and then Haas P3, as we are just waiting for the session to start now, and we'll watch the formation lap. But yeah, it's going to be pretty exciting to see how everyone else's races go. And also I did make a mistake there earlier in the qualifying session. IYG Sender actually was the person to win the first Tier 2 race. Sheep was P3, and yeah. So yeah, Vesta will be starting on pole. So everyone's starting on the intermediate tyres, as to be expected. Now we have a long race ahead of us, 28 laps in wet conditions. It's definitely going to be exciting, because I'm sure there'll be lots of crashes. Avesta does speed off into the distance by just a little bit, and sort of leaves the rest of the field behind. You really need to make sure he doesn't do that too much, because depending on how slow the last car is, I'm not sure if it is surface or surface and carcass, but if it is surface and carcass, then he really doesn't want to get those tyres cold, as it will be a real struggle for the you know, sort of top drivers. Let's hope unlike last week there aren't any lobby glitches and won't have to restart again, because that wasn't exactly the most fun. But it will be exciting, this race. I'm sure TLT Force will be wanting to take 2 wins from 2 after beating out the Haas of Marcus Stall. Admittedly not on track, but he did beat him on penalties. Predicted strategy is inter to inter. As long as this rain doesn't get any heavier or completely stops, then I'm sure there won't be any change of that. And John Ag gets disqualified from the session, so that'll be a bit annoying for him, as his tyres will just cool down on that grid, and that will mean he might struggle on the start of it. But yeah, everyone bunched up a lot, so Avesta really taking it slow, as he probably should, as he doesn't want to go too far ahead and let his tyres cool down while on the grid. I'm sure a lot of cars will be underfueling. I'm sure a lot of drivers will be underfueling their cars, as it is very easy to gain fuel in these wet conditions, and they don't want to be on the last few laps with an extra 3 laps of fuel. There's Manel just going a bit slower than Avesta. So that might mean no, their tyres might struggle on the grid. It won't make much of a difference as everyone's AI now takes over. As we just wait for everyone to just get into their grid slot. Feel free to leave your predictions on who you think's going to win the second race of the season down below. And yeah, again, I have no idea who's going to win this. I think it's really whoever can last the longest without breaking a front wing. It will be a Vesta versus Forced at the start. Now we just wait for the lights to come on. Now as we wait for the red lights to come on, 1, 2, I can't see them, but now we can. And 5 red lights are out, and we are underway for this. And we have for the second race of the season. There's a bit of a glitch there with the leaderboards, and that's really annoying. It says lots of oh, there's contact already. Who is that? Is that Enzo? That is King Enzo with wing damage. He made contact with I think one of the Hasses. I think it might have been July. Yeah, as he just pushes July out wide. Hopefully the leaderboards will fix quickly. But Avesta with a brilliant start. They're already pulling out a bit of a gap to TRT Forced. As Forsten, Will Manuel try to go for a move on Lucas. Doesn't seem like he's going to be close enough, but the Alfa Romeo behind might try one. As no, he does not, as the leaderboard is starting to fix itself now, and it has. So I think Lewis got up a position. I think he qualified P7 maybe. Yeah, because P&P Mac qualified ahead of him, so a terrible start from for the McLaren there. As there's blue flags for some reason. I'm not sure why there are blue flags, but Avesta has absolutely sped off into the distance already. 1.7 seconds ahead, so Avesta is really that much quicker than everyone else. So that's definitely some encouraging signs for all the Red Bull fans at home. As F1 Fado got overtaken by the Norwegian boy. Did I just see a spinning car? I don't think I did. But yeah, July makes the move on King Enzo, I think. I think that's what happened there. So good start from July then. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. But yeah, so it didn't seem like many got any damage, but I know Enzo did, and there's a lot of battling at the back here, all through the middle sector. Definitely not to be advised. Did Sheep just bang the wall there? It seemed like he did, but I don't think he got any damage. And TNT Forced seems to have closed up to Avesta a lot, as Mano was just slipping back 2 seconds to the gap to the 2 cars ahead, as P&P Mac has to pit. I think he had wing damage, and I think Enzo also had wing damage, but he appears to be carrying on with it. That would explain why P&P Mac did get such a bad start, and also Sheep also pitting. So I did point out that it looked like he hit the barrier at one point, so maybe he did get some damage from that. So just look at the start for everyone there. So yeah, massive loss for P&P Mac, losing 15 places at the start. But yeah, everyone gaining positions apart from the bottom 4 cars. Both McLarens having a very troublesome start. So definitely not great for them. Of course, everyone going to be on the inter tyres for pretty much most of the race, or all the race unless rain gets heavier. But yeah, TRT Force closing in now. He's used a lot of ERS already, wow. It's lap 2 and he only has 30 left. So yeah, a lot of ERS burn, as Avesta is out of ERS, so I guess we'll have to wait and see how much he has. Of course, you do gain ERS a lot easier in the wet, but still, it's not ideal to run out of ERS or use the maximum amount during a lap. So it does leave Avesta a bit vulnerable towards the end of this lap. But of course, he will be able to use it again at the end of it. But July very close to Lewis now, only 7 tenths back. It's going to be a bit of a train for the rest of the race is IYG Sender, looking to maybe send a move on King Enzo. Somehow TRT4's... Oh wait, no, it's second lap. Manuel gets fast lap of the race as there's yellow flags and sectors free. Was that someone the wrong way around? It seemed like there must have been something there, but I don't know what. Now we'll continue watching on this race with yeah, so Vesta has a lot more ERS, although TRT4's has gained a lot. It's very easy to gain ERS in the final sector. Or throughout the lap even, because it's wet. IYG Sender definitely needs to make a move on Enzo quickly if he does have that wing damage that we think he has. Let's just see look off board. Yeah, no end plate on, not sure what side that was on. So I'll have to wait and see when the camera angle changes. Yeah, so if we look on the front left of his car, no end plate on Enzo's car there. That's going to make it difficult for him, and he probably will have to change his swing in the pit stop, but it's not impossible. We saw Enzo have a great comeback drive last week. So could he have another one today? No safety car yet, which is a good sign as the yellow flags in Sector 2 down at the hairpin. What has happened here? Aaron's gone side. Aaron McFall has Aaron McSpun on the exit of that corner. Does he have any wing damage that we can see? No, he does not. So it could have just been a spin. Got too greedy on the throttle, but that is not ideal for the Racing Point driver. IGY Center still looking to make a move. I think this is this is his first race in Tier 1, as he is a Tier 2 driver, but he's doing pretty well so far in the points. So I'm sure if he continues like this, it won't take long for him to get a Tier 1 drive. As Melvin has pit, surely for wing damage. I assume for wing damage. As we'll just wait and see then. And Checkers, Danny and Leroy going at it side by side through turn 2. Fully tried to make a little switchback move. Doesn't seem like he can, although he does get the bear exit and collides with IZ Leroy. Doesn't seem like there's any damage there, but he's lost a lot of traction, and now IZ Leroy's teammate F1 Fado could try and make a move going into this turn. Heavy braking, brakes later, as locks up a little bit, and Danny does just keep the position. He had to very quickly turn attack to defense. As now the top 4 sort of closing up to each other, as Manel and Batboy just closing up to Avesta and Lucas. King Enzo, I was just about to say King Enzo has that wing damage, but it didn't seem to stop him from closing up to July, and now surely he'll have to pit, as that seems like he's got, yeah, completely lost almost all of the left front, the left side of the front wing. Only a tiny bit remains, and he's definitely going to be feeling that now. Was gaining on July, who, from the looks of it, also had wing damage. If we can try and see off board in a second here. And just broke too late into the braking zone. And punted him, and also almost sent him into a slide, but July did just catch that. As, yeah, on the front left, July has no end plate. Enzo does stay out, so I think he might just try and suffer with the wing damage for now, and go all the way to his pit stop, and then he'll probably change it then, I'd assume. Yeah, but Lucas and Avesta are very close to each other, neither of them pulling away. Well, neither of them, no gap sort of forming. I think it might be like this all races. It can be difficult to overtake. Pimpy Max is the fastest lap of the race, all the way down in P17 after wing damage on the opening lap. So could he be trying to make a comeback drive? I assume he'd have to do a 2-stop, as tyre wear is pretty high around here. Still, it's not as bad on wet tyres, but it's still going to struggle to get to the end. I wonder if Melvin had something to do with Aaron spinning round. And John Ag, sure it's going to be, yeah, easy. I assume it's an easy move for John Ack there, as King Enzo has wing damage, so he's going to just be eaten up by the rest of the field. Speaking of which, at the AlphaTauri of the Norwegian boy, going to try and make a move down this very long straight, going side by side and around. That is very frustrating for the AlphaTauri driver, I'm sure, as he just goes around. Well, he did catch it, but he's definitely got wing damage now, and he's going to be struggling for the rest of the stint if he doesn't choose to come in. A good guy Morn making the move on the AlphaTauri driver, Mr. Joe, although he will fight back in the braking zone. Really gets the move as goes for a switchback with that good guy Morn, even though it's for P12. Still great racing from the both of them, and that good guy Morn gets the move done. And Aaron just goes past Enzo easily there, which will not really be a surprise considering he does have that wing damage. As the rain seems to be getting quite heavier, the Norwegian boy will come in and change that front wing, I'm sure. But yeah, the rain, I can't tell if it's due to the cars being in or is it getting lighter? No, it's definitely getting lighter. July not fighting the move on IYG Sender, as he does have wing damage, so good of him. It seems to be getting lighter. It seems to have completely stopped raining. Yeah, it's completely stopped raining now. So I wonder if anyone's gonna, yeah, Norwegian boy coming into the pit for softs. That is definitely too early for those. I wonder if anyone will stay out a bit longer and wait till it completely dries up and try a one stop onto hards. It's going to be risky, but if you are one of the cars in a lower position, maybe that one stop could completely rescue your race. That's now TRT Forced and Avesta going side by side into the hairpin. Almost equal under braking. Lucas gets the move done and takes the lead of the race. Could he be on for 2 wins from 2? As he's gone purple in the first sector as well, second sector as well. So maybe he could get 26 points this time and be on 51 points of the driver's standings. But brilliant driving from Lucas, and as you can, I'm sure we'll definitely see him as possibly the title winner at the end of the season. But he's definitely a title contender. Although there are other drivers such as Lewis and Manel and all these other guys who definitely could challenge for it if their luck changes a bit, as they've all been quite unlucky. Aaron got pretty much spun around in this race. Lewis got hit in the first race, as there seems to be something happening there. Has F1 Fado just hit the barrier or something happened there? I think it was him, because he was definitely close to his teammate, as King Enzo now will be pitting and sure to change that front wing, so he's he seems to have suffered enough with that wing damage, and I assume he'll change it in this pit stop. But will he be going onto soft tyres, or it's going to probably go onto some sort of slicks? Goes onto the soft tyre. So is it the changeover period now? As where was that move happening? Oh yeah, the AlphaTauri. And I said Leroy getting the move done, so maybe a good drive so far from Leroy to start still coming back into this race. As yeah, ends F1 Fado. That is very risky from him. He changes his front wing, but so that does sort of confirm my theory of that he did break his front wing when there were those yellow flags. As Lucas and Avesta gets the move done on Lucas where Lucas did it on him the previous lap. I missed that, but it did seem that he did push him out a little bit. Lucas did seem a bit off track, so maybe was he just pushed out a little bit, and still in P2, so nothing bad really for the time being. But are either of them going to take a risk and try pitting this lap for softs? No, they're not. If you are maybe Manuel, you could be thinking maybe a 2-stop could work or something along them lines when it does get a tad bit drier. As if Manuel can get a lot more pace over a lap than both of them, then he could very easily end up in first. If he makes a good pit stop. Same with the Bat Boy. Lewis is obviously too far back, but some cars coming into the pit now. July and Aaron both coming into the pit lane. I assume probably to put on slick tyres. As it is, it's definitely dry enough now. Certainly looks dry enough. So maybe if Manel had pit that lap, it would have benefited him. Same with Batboy and just the complete top 5 there. Would have benefited them, but now they're going to lose out a lot to these cars that have pit. I like Aaron, because Aaron was showing some strong pace until that spin. So if he can show some really strong pace and not make any mistakes on this outlay, yep, DRS enabled, so that does confirm my theory of now is the correct time to come out and make your pit stops. But Aaron's going to be he's the leading car out of everyone who's already pit, so I'd assume he's obviously going to be a lot quicker than everyone else ahead, so maybe he could bump himself up a few positions, maybe ahead of IYG Sender, if it is a really good few laps, or a really good lap from him. But this is going to be interesting. This battle is going to be definitely more interesting with those wet tyres on a almost completely dry track. Well, a track that looks completely dry. I'm sure it will be a bit greasy still, so it won't be totally easy for the slick tyre runners as they both now come into the pit lane. And Lucas Force gets a 5-second penalty for exceeding track limits. That will most likely be removed at the end of the race, as from my eyes it seemed like he did nothing wrong there. But maybe it could play on his mind a bit throughout the race. I'm sure it won't, as Lucas is a very good driver, but now let's watch these pit stops. Oh, that is so frustrating for him. He's having to serve it. So that is so frustrating for him, I'm sure. That means now Vestel will have about a 5-second advantage over him. So that must be heart aching just for Lucas there to be battling for P1 for most of the race and now losing all that time. So Aaron just coming out down the pit lane now, purple of course, as everyone on these slick tyres will be. So yeah, gets himself up into P6, so pitting a bit earlier definitely has helped him out. IYG Sender also battling with him there. He has a penalty, 5-second penalty. That might be for speeding in the pit lane, which would probably be very frustrating for the Ferrari driver. He's had a brilliant race so far. But now our yellow flag in sector 3. Danny is retired. Let's just look at what has happened here. Oh, his car didn't ghost. I have no idea what's happened there, but his car didn't ghost, and it just stayed in the dead center of the track, and that's a safety car. So that really definitely shuffles up the race a bit. Those soft tyre runners are going to have the massive advantage now. And F1 Fado has retired from the session as well. What has happened there to him? I think he just manually retired, because certainly doesn't seem like he's crashed or anything, because his car was still moving. Yeah, but Vestel will be the one to get us underway on the restart when it happens. Obviously, we need to wait till they catch up the safety car first, and it's going to be close for the Norwegian. The Norwegian boy should get out ahead of Avesta there. As Batboy going for a risk. Is he going to put on? Did he have wing damage of any sort? He's going into the pit lane. I'm not sure what for. Unless he has wing damage or something. That would make sense. But no, he's going to put on the hard tyre. Maybe he doesn't think. Maybe he's not confident in those mediums to go to the end. So that could be a great strategy decision if those mediums aren't going to go to the end for Bad Boys. I hope for his sake, hopefully he'll get out ahead of Aaron. As it seems like he will. And he does. And now Avesta's caught the safety car. He's gone into AI mode, so he can sort of relax and put his feet up for the next couple laps as while we wait for everyone else to catch. The Norwegian boy was very lucky there, as he was about 6-7 seconds away from being lapped, and that would have essentially been his race over. It's like a 1 minute 30 lap time. And yeah, so Sheep now coming into the pit lane onto the hard tyres. I think we are going to see that a lot more. A lot of people didn't want to take the risk on the hards. Obviously, they were going to have a lot less grip on the restart. On the restart, in the crossover period. But now the track is pretty dry. Has Enzo had wing damage? I didn't see that, but He won't get lapped, and should definitely he should make it to the safety car before it comes in, as it will probably come in, I assume, next lap or the next lap after. But yeah, him and the AlphaTauri driver will... As Norwegian boy pits again. Is he going to put on the hard tyres? No, he's putting on another set of mediums. Has he broken his front wing on the safety car? That's what it seems like. But definitely not good for the Norwegian driver, as I don't think he'll catch up to the safety car. Game doesn't really like it when, you know, you're too far back. Under safety car period. And if it comes in next lap, then he certainly won't catch it. So if it comes in this lap, he definitely won't catch it. I don't think he could. Enzo might catch it. But then again, will it come in this lap? So that could be the end of the Norwegian boys. Oh, he stopped on track. Don't know what that was for. Does he still have Delta, maybe? And that could go Morn and John Ag have collided. That's really not beneficial, because that penalty will get removed. But if I assume he's gonna have to pit again because he's on the soft tyre. And if when he does, he'll have to serve that 5 seconds. So that's really not beneficial for him. There's yeah, Enzo will probably catch the safety car sometime in the middle sector, but I'm not sure if the Norwegian boy will. So now, yeah, the Ferrari of Sheep will catch up pretty soon. So Vesta, 1 lap older tyres than Manel. So we'll have to wait and see how this race, or how the restart goes for Vesta. I'm not sure if he'll bolt sometime in the final sector, because there's not really much time. There's not, like, unlike tracks like Australia or other tracks like Mexico. There's not really a long straight, not a long main straight over the start finish line, so he doesn't really need to worry about slipstream all that much. So he could probably bolt sometime in the middle sector, as it seems like the safety car will stay out one more lap. Yeah, the safety car will stay out one more lap, and that should ensure that Norwegian boy will catch it. It's good to see that he's going to catch the safety car, as we wouldn't want anyone having their races ruined because the safety car was too far back and they couldn't catch it. Yeah, Enzo's just going to catch it just at the end of this lap. Oh, Enzo's pitting. And he's got a 5-second penalty. Not great for Enzo. He had all that. He had all the time in the world to brake, and he sped in the pit lane. And he's going to put on another set of medium tyres. Is Enzo trying to go for a record of how many times you can pit and still score points? Because he did this last week. He did this last weekend. He pit about 5-6 times and still came back and got a podium, I think. Running wide there. So yeah, the safety car will probably be in this lap, and it's a good time to tell you the running order. So Avesta started on pole and he's still in that first position. Manel made up 2 positions and got into P2. TT4's lost 1 position and is now in P3. Lewis up 3 positions into P4. Bad Boy P5. Aaron P6. IYG Sender on his debut in Tier 1 in P7. July P8. That good guy Morn P9. John Ag up 5 positions into P10. Mr. Joe Jr. up 7 positions into P11. So those 2 very big gainers, as well as IZ Leroy, who's up 5 positions into P12. P&P Mac, a big loser in this race so far. Started P3, now in P13. Melvin, P14, safety car is in this lap, by the way. Sheep made up 1 position, now in P15. King Enzo, P16, and at the back of the field is the Norwegian boy who's in P17. DNF so far are F1 Fado and Danny, who I think went out in a similar incident. I think F1 Fado hit the back of Danny while Danny spun. I hit my mic there on accident. But let's watch this restart from Avesta. When is he going to bolt? Man, trying to get side by side with him. Number 13 Avesta looking to bolt. Maybe now, will it be? Still going pretty slowly. It was pretty hard to tell from the off-board shot. As Norwegian boy pitting again. And now Avesta is off, and Lucas seems to have got the better of Manel on the restart. What's the words there? Racing Point trying to warm up his tyres. Aaron trying to warm up his tyres. I lost my words there. Lucas gets past Manel. Aaron gets past Batboy, or almost does. Lewis holding them both up, so maybe Lewis's tyres are pretty cold. Aaron gets past Batboy, could even try and make a move on the Scotsman and Lewis too far back, but Manel looking to make a move on Lucas going into the next turn, can't make it work. July on the soft tyres, battling with the Ferrari and the Alfa Romeo. What has happened to Batboy? He's lost so many positions here. He was in, I think P5 maybe. John and that could go more going side by side, and that could go more. Almost just sort of pushed him into the barrier there. That is, I'm not sure if he got any wing damage, but no, he did not. None physical that you can see. John Ag lets sort of Mr. Joe Jr. go by. Aaron with a brilliant restart, already past Lewis, and into P4. So yeah, a great restart from Aaron there. He's in about P6, maybe 7. John Ag and Dakar still battling here. It's like going on with the tyre advantage, but not with the pace advantage, it seems, as John Ag gets past and now looking to make a move on Mr. Joe Jr. and gets it done while that could go more is being attacked by IZ Leroy, who can't get the move done. John Ag can't ended up not getting the move done on Mr. Joe Jr. and it seems that for all the world that one of these guys has wing damage as they're going so slowly that seems like his Ayep Shender racing into the pit lane. Wow, both cars racing into the pit lane. Both cars all seeming to have wing damage, as Lucas will now be trying to chase down and hunt down Avesta, as there is a DNF in the man of the Ferrari driver Sheep in his debut in this in Tier 1. Seems like there must have been some sort of collision where we see the car on the right hand side going very... I don't know what's happened there. Yellow flags in Sector 3 as, yeah, they were racing into the pit lane, Batboy and IYG Sender. I wonder when those yellow flags will go away, but yeah, it's made me think it was a safety car or a virtual safety car. As Sheep is out of the session. So yeah, he's left the session, yeah, he was already out. But yeah, another safety car. Back-to-back safety cars, there's already some collisions and definitely a lot more penalties than there was a few laps ago. Let's just go through the penalties quickly. I'm sure a lot of these will get removed. But John Ack with a 5 second, Isaac Leroy with a 5 second, Enzo with a 10 second rule. I think one of those was with a collision, was for a collision, and he's probably get that one of those removed, although the other one was completely his fault, that 5 second speeding into the pit lane. Batboy with a 3 second, the only person to get a time penalty off corner cutting that I know of, I think. And let's go for the tyres. Avesta with 5-lap-old mediums, TRT4s with 5-lap-old mediums, Manel with 4-lap-old mediums, Aaron with 5-lap-old mediums, Lewis with 4-lap-old mediums, July with 5-lap-old softs, so he'll have to come into the pit soon. P&P Mac with 5-lap-old mediums, as Avesta going for a risk. Maybe not thinking those mediums are going to make it to the end, so he's going to come into the pit lane. What tyres is he... Oh, a lot of people are coming into the pit lane. It's going to be definitely a big scramble in the pit lane. Mr. Joe Jr. gets a 3 second time penalty for multiple warnings, as Aaron is going to try and take track position over everyone else. Same with Lewis, so it's going to be a bit of and July. I don't know what July is doing. That was definitely a perfect opportunity for him to pit, especially with those 6-lap-old softs. Melvin staying out, so yeah, a good strategy from everyone who went onto the hards. Melvin has gone from, you know, P I don't even know where, to P6, so a great strategy from Melvin. Listen now with his teammate behind, although his teammate on a sort of faster tyre, so if Melvin is smart, he'll let Avesta go quickly whenever he can, and he'll try and hold up Manel and Lucas as much as he can. Okay, everyone going on to new mediums, so maybe they don't think their tyres are going to make it to the end of the race. Clearly Aaron and Lewis have more faith in their tyre managing skills, and someone hit the barrier there. Is that Aaron? Sounded like it. It sounded like someone hit the barrier. But yeah, clearly Lewis and Aaron have more faith in their tyre managing skills, and think that maybe they can make it to the end. Norwegian boy, as he's had 5 stops and he's made up 2 positions. So good job from the AlphaTauri driver, now behind his teammate, who speaking of making up positions, made up 8 positions, and I said Leroy has made up 12 positions. Avesta's gone. Okay, I don't know what Avesta did there, but maybe sometimes you can get a glitch where you can overtake people into safety car. Oh, Melvin seems to be trying to let Avesta past, and that is a good strategy from the. As I was saying, he probably wanted to do the switch at some point, so a good strategy from both Red Bull drivers. You know, good teamwork. And now that Melvin can try and hold up Manel and Lucas. Safety car should come in probably lap 17 maybe. There's PMP Mac coming into the pit lane. Same with Mr. Joe Jr. And a 5-second time penalty for John Ag with a severe collision with his teammate. Though, that will probably get removed. I'm not sure what July's doing. I mean, there's being good at managing tyres, but he's not going to manage to last those softs to the end of the race, that is a fact. So I don't know if he's trying to help the other cars ahead, or he's just trying to hope for another safety car or a virtual safety car, something to happen. But it's very odd of what he's doing. 7-lap-old softs. Those tyres are going to be very dead after a few laps. Mr. Joe Jr. coming into the pit lane for softs. I'm not sure about the tyre wear here. From my, I don't drive Vietnam much, as it's not really a track that I like. But from my memory, it's difficult to last tyres here. Ah, okay. Makes sense. Well, I hope your strategy works, Julian. Because you've driven a good race so far. Made up 6 positions. Vesta's really going to have to hit it hard on the restart. Safety car in this lap now. There's a... So if he's going to have to try and get past Leroy, July, Lewis and Aaron to get back to up to where he was. If Lewis and Aaron are going to the end, which they are both very capable drivers and probably can, or might be able to, they're going to have to defend from a charging Avesta, Manel and Lucas, so... It's going to be interesting to see for them. But Aaron will be the one to get us back underway. He's still pretty close to the safety car, but the pit lane comes up pretty quickly. Let's ride on board for Lewis for this restart. Now we watch as Aaron goes. Lewis caught slightly off guard. And Aaron trying to warm up his tyres down the straight as he normally does after a safety car. Same with Lewis. I don't think these two are going to fight. They might be in a party together, which might mean that they're probably not going to fight and just try and push away from everyone else. But Vesta already on the back of IZ Leroy. You can see the pace advantage, even if those are the same tyres, but those much younger tyres. He's already pulled away from Melvin by quite a margin. And now he's already trying to move, and Lewis... Oh, July's round! July is hit by, I assume, IZ Leroy, and he resets the track. But Avesta, Avesta is up into P3 now, so those two scrapping away and just made contact with each other. Yellow flag in Sector 2 is something's happened. 3 wide! Wow! I don't know what they were trying there, but went 3 wide. And that is... someone's out, someone's... yeah, I have no idea what's just happened there. But from my understanding, it was way too many cars going into one spot. July was hit... virtual safety car, by the way. July was hit, which sort of started off everything. July was hit by IZ Leroy, who now has wing damage. July was out the way and was ghosted, so that was fine for everyone else. As the race back underway now, and Enzo has wing damage again. So will he pit or will he try and stay out and just suffer till the end of the race? But 2 cars pitting, Forced and Manel. So did they make contact at some point? Certainly seems like they might have made contact as there's more collisions at the back. PMP... my voice is going slightly, sorry about that. Yeah, but a lot of cars having to pit now. So... from P8 to P16, everyone is in the pit lane. So pretty much anyone that kept their noses clean for that last period is pretty much now in the points. Both McLarens in the points. But yeah, Lewis in the lead, a second advantage to Avesta, but Avesta is going to charge him hard. And probably get the move done pretty quickly. As Aaron now just 6 tenths behind Avesta. I'm sure he'll be content with a podium. I don't think Melvin will be able to catch up to him that much, but what started out was a very poor looking Red Bull team. They've now both got into this brilliantly. Yeah, brilliant from both Red Bull drivers. Now, started off very low, but now a 2-4 for them. But I say 2-4, but Aaron looking to show some of his pace. As Lewis just keeping the advantage to Avesta, not really making it change at all. Aaron 5-6 tenths back, so maybe he's losing time through this final sector. As it seems like that is happening to Lewis too. All on similar amounts of ERS, apart from Aaron, who's got an extra 30-40% to both of them. DRS now enabled and a fast lap of the race so far for Avesta Racing, as he will just try and hunt down the Scotsman ahead of him. 6 tenths behind, and he's pulled out the second gap that he needs, or he's just above the second gap that he needs for to stay ahead of for Aaron not to get DRS. No DRS for Aaron here. DRS for Avesta here. I wonder if Lewis will just let him by, because there's a big long straight coming up, and it definitely an easy overtaking opportunity for whoever's ahead. So Lewis not seeming to let him by at all. Lewis not letting him by, so Avesta will get DRS, and this will surely be an easy move for Avesta as long as they don't make contact. It's not impossible, as we've already seen a lot of times in this race. It went 3 wide earlier and it caused a collision as Avesta gets past Lewis with ease. And now Lewis in P2. Sure, he'll probably try to stay on the back of Avesta and just make sure he looks after his tyre till the end of the race. John Ag on the hard tyre up into P4, though he must have got an illegal overtake because he just lets Melvin back by. Or did he get wing damage of some sort? No wing damage, but did maybe an illegal overtake, as Melvin was just let back by. Aaron gaining on Lewis, so they could probably, I think if I were them, you'd sort of just, whoever's just quicker, or just maybe stay as they are and just try and pull a gap to Melvin and that, as otherwise, you know, they could struggle later on in this race when they get closer. Norwegian Boy making a move on RWG Sender, and I was talking about how if other people had good luck and Lucas got some bad luck, maybe they'd be championship contenders. Speaking of which, I've sort of cursed Lucas as now he's in P10, and that is a safety car. Lucas not even thinking about that, going straight into the pit lane for what I assume will be a set of softs. Who was it? It was IYG Sender. I'm not sure what's happened there. I saw him fighting with, I'm not sure who, but he was fighting with someone. Now he's out of the race, so a third safety car. And King Enzo going into the pit lane for that wing damage. But yeah. So, I wonder if Aaron and Lucas will just... Aaron and Lewis just think, okay, if Aaron and Lewis pit, then they'll come out behind, probably, maybe just ahead of P and P Mac. But that would still be pretty close as it is. So I wonder if Lewis and Aaron will just pit for softs here. Because if not, then they're going to be a sitting duck for everyone else, like Lucas. Although I say Lucas had bad luck, he's now got a fresh set of softs, although everyone else also does have that. And he can push till the end of the race on those tyres and maybe try to get back into the points. Well, I'm sure he'll get back into the points. He's a very quick driver, Lucas. But how many points can he get? That is going to be the question by the end of this race. Wonder, will Melvin and John continue to that one-stop strategy that they both were on? Avesta, Aaron and Lewis all going into the pit lane. John Ag going on to... or all these will be probably going on to set softs. Yep. Seems like everyone will be hitting for softs, apart from Mr. Joe Jr., who's gonna come out ahead of everyone. I'm not gonna lie, I did not expect to see him at the start of the race anywhere near P1. Oh, Lewis stayed out. So Lewis is gonna prefer to keep track position. And will he regret that later on? Because now everyone else behind him has a new set of soft tyres, apart from Mr. Joe Jr. And he has to just make sure that he defends and doesn't lose that P1. Because Avesta, Aaron, Melvin are going to be, and everyone else behind are going to be coming in at a rate of knots. So it's going to be very difficult for Lewis to hold on to this P1. Yeah, so when everyone catches the safety car or stops pitting, I'll go for the running order so far. Lewis just backing off a bit from the safety car. He's going to have to make sure he doesn't get too far back. It's about 30 seconds you have to close up to the safety car, but he doesn't want to get a penalty. So it'll be the one... it was Aaron last time who was the one to lead the restart. This time it'll be him. Yeah, so... great strategy from Mr. Joe Jr., or great luck from Mr. Joe Jr. to get him into P2. As just said there, very crazy race so far. It's been crazy all the way through. We've seen people rise and then sharply fall. But yeah, I'll go for the running order now, as we have a few laps left of this race. Lewis obviously committing to that strategy of staying out on those mediums, but if he had pit, he would have come out probably in P4, just behind Avesta. But I think he's made a mistake. I think he's made a mistake with the strategy there. Anyway. So, Lewis, P1, making up 6 positions. Mr. Joe Jr., great luck in strategy so far. He's made up 16 positions to get into P2. Avesta down 2 positions in P3. Aaron up 2 in P4. Melvin up 9. Great strategies and racecraft from Melvin so far to get him into P5 with making up 9 positions. P&P Mac into P6. He's definitely done better. He's definitely done good since getting wing damage on the... on the first lap. Also, yeah, I'm fine, don't worry. I just have a sore throat at the moment. I've had a COVID test before, I have no COVID, don't worry. P7 is John Ag up 8 positions. IZ Leroy in P8 up 9 positions. July P9 currently where he started. Lucas down 8 positions into P10. Manel down 7 positions into P11. Like I'd go more down 1 position in P12. Bat Boy up in P13, up down 8 positions. King Enzo down 6 positions in P14, and the Norwegian Boy down 2 positions in P15. So yeah, I just have a sore throat at the moment, and I'm trying to make sure I don't lose my voice. Don't worry, I'm all good and healthy. I have to take a COVID test twice a week, so I don't know if I had COVID, don't worry. Safety car now in this lap. Can't say that's surprising. So we've seen two different sort of restarts from Aaron and Avesta. Avesta decided to go all the way up to the line before he bolted, and Aaron decided to go just in the final, or it might have been the penultimate corner. I think it was the final corner. Lewis still pretty close to the safety car, but it doesn't really matter around here, as the pit lane is well before the start-finish line. As the limiter has now been removed, I think, and Lewis can go whenever he wants. So all his decision. Obviously, I don't think he can go too slowly as he goes now through the final corner. Little slide there. Maybe his tyres being a tad cold, but he's all fine on the restart. Mr. Joe Jr. 2 tenths behind, and very close, taps Lewis's rear. Vesta already trying to make a move on Mr. Joe Jr. And what a move that is from Aaron. Can he get it? Can he get it both done on Vesta and Mr. Joe Jr.? If he does, then that's he's very close to being an outstanding move from Aaron. Still a brilliant one on Mr. Joe Jr. But a great move from Aaron there. Now Vesta looking to make a move on Lewis into this hard braking zone. Doesn't get it done. Lewis stays ahead, but on those medium tyres he's going to be a sitting duck. It's not really a case of if, it's more of a case of when will Vesta get the move done on him. As cars going side by side. Melvin up. Melvin in P5. I don't think he's made any overtakes. Lucas forced. Brilliant restart from him. He's already up a few positions into P9. But now Avesta will probably try to make a move using a lot of ERS down the straight, going up the inside of Lewis McWilliam. Gets it on safety car. What that is for, I do not know, as it doesn't seem like it's for anything. But Avesta's got the move done. It'll be stupid if Lewis pits for softs now. Is that the third or fourth safety car we've had? Yeah, so we've had a lot of safety cars in this race, as predicted, although I did predict more of them to come under the wet period. 23 laps gone, and we'll have a few more under safety car. Avesta will be the one to lead us on the restart. I don't know if that's a glitch or something, but Lewis, no, Melvin's pit. Maybe that was debris? A lot of cars pitting. TNT Force being one of them. I think maybe a lot of people got wing damage. That could be the only reason in my head why there was a safety car. Any other reason, I don't know. Yeah, but I was saying earlier on in this race that if Lucas got unlucky in the championship fight, then he could lose a lot of positions. And well, the bad luck struck straight away. As he went from what looked like an easy podium, possibly even win, so now must be very annoying. Everyone on softs apart from Lewis on those 14-lap-old softs. I'll be amazed if Lewis can keep this podium or even go to the end on those soft tyres. Only a few laps left. Yeah, there will only be a few laps left after this safety car, but if Lewis can hold on to this podium, it'll be an outstanding job from him, and he'll probably get my driver of the day just from defending from everyone else on those soft tyres. He does have a 5-second penalty, although I'm not sure what that's for, so it might not have been his fault. Yeah, it's been a great drive from the Ferrari drivers today to DNFs. Yeah. But whatever the reason for the safety car, should be coming in a few laps time. With everyone getting, a lot of cars got wing damage as well, so. So yeah, not really much has changed since the start of the safety cars. We only had like about half a lap of racing speed. But safety car probably coming in next lap maybe, or the lap after that. It'll come in at some point. That is my prediction, that the safety car will come in at some point. Okay. It's a bold prediction, I know, but I do think the safety car won't stay out for the end of the race. Yeah, I was talking about how Melvin's strategy was great and everything he'd done so far, and the race was great when he was in P5. So now he's in P12. So a bit of a commentator's curse there. Sorry about that, Melvin. P&P Mac though, a brilliant comeback drive from him. You've got to appreciate that there. Started P3 I think, and ended up like almost pretty much dead last after the first lap, and now all the way up in P5. So brilliant from him. I wonder what Lewis's tyres are feeling like right now. 15 laps old. I keep mentioning it. But his tyres are 15 laps old, and it's gonna be touch and go if they can make it to the end. As long as he doesn't lock up that much, or you just need to sort of avoid the curbs, as I'm sure we'll see him do. And still a bit tyre warming. That's to be expected, but sure. Oh, safety car in the slap. I think it might have just been for debris, maybe, because that does sometimes happen. As a Vesta will just slowing everyone down. As it's going to be a pretty intense safety car restart for the Renault driver of Lewis. And once again, King Enzo has made a brilliant comeback drive after getting how many pit stops? Let's see. 7 pit stops into P8. I think he just likes going into the pit lane. He likes saying hi. Oh! Oh, I'm sorry for laughing, but how has Avesta done that? I'm very sorry for laughing. It was pretty unprofessional, but Avesta spun it just before the safety car restart. It does happen, but it's very unfortunate for Avesta as he's looking to be cruising to an easy victory there. Lewis now is going to have to defend for his life as Avesta is retired, I assume, maybe? Oh no, Melvin! Oh, damage there. Avesta's hit Manel, it might have been. As a side by side, a lot of cars there. P&P Mac up into P3. Great from him. Great drive from him. As Aaron will now be looking to make a size up a move on Lewis McWilliam. As Avesta is out of the race. I see just what happened to him. He's just gone into the barrier there, and that's unfortunate for him. It must have been very frustrating. This must be very annoying for him. He was looking to cruise to an easy victory there, and he's just bottled it on the safety car restart. Lewis has now to hold out for 3 laps against Aaron, or maybe even P&P Mac behind, as Aaron might get the move done. Will Lewis try to defend? No, he won't, going into the braking zone. Aaron staying on Lewis's tail, not hitting him at all, as Mr. Joe Jr. trying a move on P&P Mac. So it'd be brilliant if he can get a podium, as I think he'd warrant driver of the day, or get the games driver of the day. But Lewis is gonna have to defend for his life going into these last 2 laps from Aaron. Scotsman versus Irishman. So who's gonna win? As Lewis locks up Aaron, looking to make the move, but he can't get the traction. Doesn't get the traction, almost clips the barrier, but does keep out of it. Now P&P Mac right on the back of both of them. P&P Mac is going to have to either get past Aaron extremely quickly, or not, or wait for Aaron to get past Lewis. As that good guy Morn has stopped on the start-finish line. I don't know what's happened there, but yeah, Aaron's either going to have to get past Lewis quickly, or Jack is going to have to try, and P&P Mac is going to have to try and get past Aaron. I'm sure he will want Aaron to get the move done and then go after Lewis, because if they battle, then it would be would make it a lot easier for Lewis. 17 laps old those tyres are now. Will they even make it to the end? I'm sure he's going through so much tyre wear, and they might even get puncture on the final lap, as it's difficult to make hards last 20 laps. let alone a set of mediums. The Norwegian boys in the barrier. Will that bring out a virtual safety car and really help Lewis? No, it will not, as Aaron gets the move done on Lewis down the straight. P&P Mac 2 will be too far back to get to try any sort of move on Lewis, as Lewis is now in P2. Still brilliant if he can hold out against P&P Mac. Of course, he does have that 5-second time penalty, although I think that will probably get removed, so I don't know if it was his fault or not. Aaron locking up, not Aaron, Lewis locking up, and Aaron locked up, but he made contact with P&P Mac. So, yellow flags in Sector 2, that is for the Norwegian boys. Just DNF now out, is now out of the race with 2 laps to go. P&P Mac gets a 3-second time penalty. Lewis just needs to stay within 3 seconds of P&P Mac. This is an easy P2 for Lewis as long as he can hold out. He just needs to not do anything stupid, and that's an easy P2 for him. As that must be so frustrating for P&P Mac, as he gets a time penalty on the penultimate lap. Now looking to make a move on Lewis. It's not all done and dusted yet. He needs to get past Aaron as quickly as possible and try to pull out a 3-second gap. Lewis just literally needs to cruise behind him now. And then it will be all easy sailing for the Scotsman and the Renault driver, who really should have won last race or even came close or got a podium last race. But possibly less deserved this race. But what is happening in this race is so topsy-turvy. As now P&P Mac is going to put so much pressure on Aaron. Maybe they might collide. If they collide, then that's an easy win for Lewis. But now P&P Mac will probably try to get past him on this final lap, and then it's gonna be very difficult. But he's gonna have to try and pull out a 3-second gap. He's got a 1-second gap already. He just needs to add 2 to that in the final sector. And as long as P&P Mac gets the move, goes for the move, makes contact with Aaron, and Aaron almost goes round. He does just hold it, but that was a move that had to be made, but not exactly the cleanest move. I'll now put it on leader as he's 6 tenths ahead of Lewis. How much time can he gain in this final sector? Will it be enough? I don't think it will, but there's still a chance. Lewis' tyres very, very old. Is there a chance of him getting a puncture maybe in this final sector? Is now Jack will be pushing so hard going into the final few corners. It doesn't seem like he's going to get the gap. He's only 1.5 ahead. He's going to need so much traction. I hope Lewis makes a mistake if he wants to hold on to P2 as he comes across the line for P2 in the end. Aaron gets P1 and Lewis P3 on off track, but he does have that 5-second penalty that I don't think was his fault. So Lewis may well get promoted to P2 in the end. We'll have to see after the race. I think he will, but a great drive from all 3 of them there, as the race is still going on, of course, at the back. But that could go more, and Melvin are pretty far away. So what started out as a poor day for Red Bull turned to an amazing day, turned to an average day, turned to a terrible day. Definitely going to be some good highlights, and Melvin almost spins there. As Melvin is the last car to finish the race, and that will be the end of it. So after 28 very long laps, went from wet to dry. The winner, and his first race win in the new season. After 2 rounds, we have there are 2 new winners. It is Aaron McFall, your race winner for Vietnam. So Aaron P1, and currently at the moment it is P2 for P&P Mac and P3 for Lewis, although I'm sure the stewards will have to see Lewis's penalty, and if that gets removed then he'll get promoted into P2, unless P&P Mac has any penalties, warnings that he shouldn't have got. But I guess we'll have to wait and see after the race. So Aaron McFall, your race winner, ladies and gentlemen, with I'll go off what the results say at the moment. For P2 for P&P Mac, Lewis P3, John Ag P4, King Enzo with another, somehow got P5 after 7 stops. I don't know how. July P6, Manuel P7, IZ Leroy, or is that LZ? I don't know. Leroy P8, TSC Force P9. Very frustrating for him, I'm sure, as he was on track to win the race. Batboy P10 rounding up the points finishes. Mr. Joe Jr., what almost could have been for him, almost was in first at one point. P11, that could go more than P12. Melvin P13, and now to the non-finishers. Norwegian Boy P14, Avesta P15, YG Sender P16, Sheep P17, F1 Fado P18, and Denny P19. Although Norwegian Boy and Vesta are still counted as finishers. So I hope you would like. I hope you sorry, I didn't look at Lewis's penalties there. Sorry, I didn't see the comment. But yeah, I hope you will have enjoyed another exciting race for everyone, and yeah, feel free to join us next week. I'm not sure what track it is actually next week. It is next week. We'll be racing at Singapore. So another street. I think so a street circuit. So yeah, be sure to join us in Singapore, and yeah, I'm sure hopefully that race will be exciting as today's. Anyway, have a great day, everyone. We hope to see you in the next race next week.